You want me to start the first verse?
Yeah.
Isaiah 40 and 1.
This is the one where it says, crying out of throw ye up the highways.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Isaiah 40 and 1. Comfort ye, my people, saith your power. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned. For she hath received of the Lord's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our power.
So what does that mean? That's talking about Elijah coming back.
Right.
Because they asked him, are you Elijah? He said no.
Right.
So they said, who are you? Are you one of those prophets? You know, they didn't know if it was Messiah,
Right.
it was Elijah, he was this prophet, that prophet. They said, who are you? What did he say? He said, I am one crying in the wilderness.
Right.
So that meant that's a prophecy about what is that? The way he says, I am one crying in the wilderness.
Isaiah 43.
Go to the chat.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. The part where it says.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. This brother Arakia. And on this one, I want to focus on Malachi. Okay, chapter 4, verse 5. Okay, behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So, what we're reading over here is not concerning John the Baptist, which we know obviously John the Baptist was Elijah, the prophet Elijah, in the reincarnation, and Yahweh Shai said that, okay, the son of the Most High Yahweh, he says that, okay, so that's plain, okay, it's in the scriptures, okay, and this verse, however, when it says, behold, I will send Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, is not talking about John the Baptist 2000 years ago, but he's talking about in these times. And specifically who he's talking about is Ahba Bivens, okay, Elder Ahba Bivens, okay, who came back in these times, and I believe he was first part of the commandment keepers Israelites, which were pretty much so-called Negroes that were coming back to their heritage as Israelites, but doing it in form of Judaism, okay, so they was just on that small hatter timing. But then you have Ahba Bivens, who also included the New Testament, okay, which is spiritual because John the Baptist was, close with Yahweh Shai, okay. So this is information that makes you understand that what we're dealing with is the truth, and that we are in these end days, okay, end time days. Okay, now before I continue here, I need to go to Revelation, where it speaks about the 3 days and a half. Okay, dead bodies shall lie in the streets 3 days and a half. And I know it's in Revelation. Yeah, Revelation 11. Okay. Okay, Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies. Okay, it's talking about the Israelites being in a spiritually dead state. It says that in Proverbs that he that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, which is talking about America, of course, Babylon the Great, Egypt, Sodom, it has many names. And how was Yahushua crucified in America is that, you know, they are portraying him as a so-called white man. Okay, Cesare Borgia. You know, you go to these Christian churches, you know, they have X'd out, you know, they have crossed out his true appearance, which is so-called Negro man. Okay, yeah, that's who Yahushua really is. Okay, but they also have you know, perverted the gospel. You know, he's just you know, all kind and all love, and but when you go to the scriptures, it says that the slain of the Lord shall be many. So he's coming in a state of war. And the only ones that are going to receive mercy are the elect of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So, you see, these 3 days and a half is talking about 350 years, and it's roundabout from the time of 1619 to 1969, 1970, which was 1619 about so-called Negroes, okay, as Israelites arrived to America in the Atlantic slave trade, and you have that period of time when, you know, our people was, you know, lost their heritage. Okay, it says in Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage. So that happened, that you know, came to pass. Okay, but after these 350 years, roundabout in the 1960s, 1970s, you had Ahba Bivens, Elijah, you know, being activated to wake up this knowledge of who we are again, and, you know, to pretty much be a front runner for Yahushua, and to, you know, plant that seed for the Hebrew Israelite ministry, what it is today. Now you have number of different camps, you know, granted they go off. Only GMS has 100% truth and the affiliates of GMS, but you have the camps worldwide, you see. And even though they, you know, mainly going off, they still push that with the Israelites, you know, with the people. So they have this correct, you know. And, but then you have the utmost bugouts speaking about Negro only Israelites. Now it also includes the Latinos and the Native and Seminole Indians. Okay, you see. So now this Israelite ministry has been, you know, and with internet is worldwide. But it was Ahba Bivens, you know, John the Baptist, who, you know, was, you know, really the forerunner, man. Okay, in these times. So this is why it's so important. Okay. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. Okay, so pretty much, you know, yeah, what happened is that just read Psalms 83. Okay, the other nations being glad that, you know, we are, you know, being you know, persecuted. Okay, verse 11, the point. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So now you see the 12 tribes coming together, and our enemies are afraid of that sight. Okay, and it started from 1960, 1970, when Ahba Bivens, you know, John the Baptist, you know, Elijah, all the same man, you know, did his thing. So now, having got that context, we go back to Malachi 4 and 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. series talking about Ahba Bivens in these times, because the great and dreadful day of the Lord is in these times. Okay? You see? Yeah. The day of judgment, man. Verse 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And lest can also mean before. Okay? Which is what it means here. So the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. You know, you had the 7, okay, of 1 West, 125th Street, the school. I'm gonna try if I can remember all of the names of the 7. So you had King Masha, High Priest Arya, High Priest Yaquab, then you had High Priest Shar, High Priest Kasak, High Priest Yeshaya, and High Priest Lahab. I believe that's all of the 7, okay? And then you have, their students, which goes into our elders and pastors of today, Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Raha, Elder Apostle Aramlab, okay, and the bishops of Connecticut, okay, and on down to the elders, different brothers of GMS, on down to the affiliates. So you have these different what's the correct word? I know the word in Finnish, but I try to get it in the English language. Generations. So you have these different generations of Israelites waking up to this truth. And this is what he's talking about here. The fathers' hearts are being turned to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. You see this truth getting activated, man. Okay? Yeah, this is it's very heavy, because it puts the pieces together. Go up to a Christian, ask a Christian, what does Malachi chapter 4 verse 5 and 6 mean? They're gonna be freestyling some other shit, bro. They do not know what's going on, man. Okay, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. On to the next one. Shalom.